we do have good news. We can solve this. We can fix this. We can save the American people, for example, that Joe Biden abandoned in Afghanistan. We can permanently reinstate Donald Trump's stay in Mexico policy, other Trump border policies like resuming construction of the southern border wall. And we can go back to energy independence, finish the Keystone Pipeline. We can drill for oil and gas in Texas, Oklahoma, Alaska, North Dakota, instead of begging OPEC and getting energy from Russia. The bad news is, sadly, none of this is going to happen with Joe Biden and the radical New Green Deal socialists in power. I don't know, maybe we could just call him President Carter II or President Brandon, if you like. He caused each and every one of these crises. They were all preventable. And with each passing day, his administration's policies and proposals are only making everything worse. And sadly, it's not even clear that Biden even really knows what's going on. And today, during what was another typical rambling, bizarre speech, this one in Scranton, Pennsylvania, well, once again, Biden, the cognitive mess that he is, his cognitive decline more obvious than ever. You decide.
Scranton is where I played shortstop at the Green Range Little League in the first year. It was put up. My dad helped build the field down there, and spent a lot of time at Simmy's buying penny candy, and Hank's Hoagies on Woodlawn Street, watching movies of the Roosie. I was the only kid in my era that I was able to walk across the Lackey on that pipe that was just above the thing. And my dad had moved from Wilmington, Delaware to Scranton when he was a junior in high school. He went then was called St. Thomas, not the prep, but it was called St. Thomas in those days. At St. Paul's, you know, my nickname was Blackbird. I wasn't very big, but you could beat me, but I'd hurt you.
God save this country. Did you understand that? Joey was supposed to be selling his Build Back Better New Green Deal socialist spending bill. Clearly, he got a little sidetracked as usual. And since Joe is not able to articulate the details of this massive spending bill, we will for him. Build Back New Green Deal Socialism Better will wreck the economy for decades to come. It has nothing to do with real infrastructure like roads and bridges and tunnels. Instead, it will raise taxes on everyone in spite of what they're telling you, especially people making under $50,000 a year. They are already being disproportionately impacted by Biden's horrific energy and economic policies. This Build Back Better New Green Deal socialism would allow the IRS to spy on your bank account. It'll add trillions to our debt and deficit as they continue to lie to us and tell us it won't cost us a penny. It will wreck and destroy our oil and gas and energy industries. It will waste billions and billions of dollars on new Green Deal socialist projects, probably worse than Solyndra. It will fund their cradle to grave, womb to the tomb socialist entitlement for people to choose not to work. That's not going to work out well. If passed, this new Green Deal Build Back Better madness will cause inflation to continue to skyrocket at a time when inflation is already out of control, near a 30-year high. I mean, that's where we are today. Median income households are now spending, on average, an extra $175 a month on just food and fuel and housing. That's $2,100 a year in a Biden inflation tax. Have you been to the grocery store lately? Well, a 12-pack of Pepsi has nearly doubled. The cost of Pringles, you like potato chips, they're up. You like milk for your kids, that's up. The cost of chicken, beef is up. Procter & Gamble announcing even more price increases for a whole range of products, from toothpaste to laundry detergent, paper towels, diapers, toilet paper, if you can find it. The prices are going up, and P&G expects to spend an extra $2.1 billion on transportation so they can even get their products to market. And as we predicted, those costs, all of them, every penny, will be passed on to you, the American people, you, the consumer. That is, if you can even find what you need in stock. There are empty shelves now all across the country. We have stores now rationing products like paper towels and toilet paper. I don't know why is there the mad dash for toilet paper? But according to Ron Klain, these are what he calls high-class problems. The Washington Post now wants us to stop complaining and to lower our expectations that when we go to a store, we'll be able to get what we want. Gee, we have such a high bar we're asking for here. A top Biden advisor is telling all of us we need to make sacrifices. We may need to accept that we may not be able to get the jacket that we want in 15 colors that we want, but we'll get a jacket. Jen Psaki is calling it the tragedy, oh, your treadmill didn't arrive on time. Instead of looking for solutions to the many serious crises all of them have caused, the Biden administration, their defenders, they'd rather lie and mock the very real concerns of millions of Americans. The people they have hurt the most, middle-class Americans and those Americans that are poor and struggling already. They can't afford the high cost of everything going up. They can't afford to pay more to heat and cool their homes and fill their gas tanks. Joe Biden caused all of it. All of it can be prevented, and all of it can be stopped tomorrow. Just go back to the Trump policies that worked. Take a look.
Do you believe that right now there's a crisis at the border?
I think that the answer is no.
As individuals come across the border and they are both assessed for whether they have any symptoms. If they have symptoms, the intention is for them to be quarantined. That is our process. They're not intending to stay here for a lengthy period of time.
Why is the administration flying thousands of migrants from the border to Florida and New York in the middle of the night?
Well, I'm not sure that it's in the middle of the night, but let me tell you what's happening here. It is our
4:29 a.m.
Well,
very early in the morning.
Here we are.
And best of all, the cost of these bills in terms of adding to the deficit is zero. Zero. Zero.
Well, I think there's always been two kinds of Christmas shoppers. There's the ones who have all their list completed by Halloween, and then there's people like me who show up at the mall on Christmas Eve. If you're in that latter bucket, obviously there's going to be more challenges.
People couldn't get dishwashers and furniture and treadmills delivered on time, not to mention all sorts of other things. So why is
The
it...
tragedy of the treadmill that's delayed.
Oh, really? That's supposed to be funny? Maybe somebody wants a treadmill. By the way, 3.5 trillion will cost zero, Joe says, okay. And those 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. flights, they're not middle of the night that when they're flying illegal immigrants into states and cities without telling anybody. No, that would be an early morning flight. You see what they're saying? Under the Biden administration, you need to accept that our lives will be worse, and you need to stop complaining. We all need to stop complaining. We all need to get in line. It's really not that different. Remember, Jimmy Carter, some of you may not remember, told us, oh, lower your thermostat and put on a sweater and make modest sacrifices and start living thriftily because the energy crisis would never get better. That's what he told us. You might remember this.
We must face the fact that the energy shortage is permanent. There is no way we can solve it quickly. But if we all cooperate and make modest sacrifices, if we learn to live thriftily and remember the importance of helping our neighbors, then we can find ways to adjust and to make our society more efficient and our own lives more enjoyable and productive. Simply by keeping our thermostats, for instance, at 65 degrees in the daytime and 55 degrees at night, we could save half the current shortage of natural gas.
Yeah, the tragedy of the treadmill. And you should shop for your Christmas presents in October if you have any hope of your kids being happy with Santa this year. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Now a labor shortage is driving many of our supply chain woes, and that's only going to get worse. Why? Joe's vaccine mandate. We've talked about this. This is no longer a discussion about to vax or not to vax. We have discussed that over and over again. You know my position. Take it seriously. Learn, study, ask for serious questions. Look at your own health condition, your unique medical history. Talk to your doctors. I believe in the science. I believe in the science of vaccination. I'm not your doctor. I'm not telling anybody what to do. I've encouraged you all to take it seriously. I've seen the worst of it. I've encouraged all my viewers, consult with your doctor and then choose the best course of action. But I also believe in freedom and liberty. I also believe in medical privacy, and I also believe in patient-client, doctor-patient confidentiality. I've encouraged all of you to get informed. So you can ask great questions of your doctors about, oh, what if you have a breakthrough case? So you didn't get the vaccine and you got a positive COVID test. What do you do next? First question I would ask my doctor is, what do you know about monoclonal antibodies? Okay, he might tell you about Regeneron and the infusion and how critical it is to get it as early as possible. But I'm not a medical professional. I'm not going to give you medical advice, nor should any of these people with their one-size-fits-all medicine either. At this point, pretty much everyone in this country has made up their minds about the vaccine. I don't think many minds are going to be changed at this point. The debate for many people is over. Millions of Americans, they're now actually willing and ready to give up their jobs, their salaries, their pensions, their careers, because they don't agree with the mandate. It's happening already. The Chicago police, their police force could be down 1,000 officers, and we know about the violence in Chicago. We may lose thousands, if not tens of thousands of military personnel. They may quit or face hefty fines that they're not going to be able to pay. Teachers are not going to get it, and we're going to have a shortage of teachers and cops and military and firefighters and first responders and all those nurses and healthcare workers that went into work in the middle of the worst of COVID and risked their lives to save other people's lives, many that got COVID themselves. They dove on one COVID grenade, a minute after another. They worked at a COVID petri dish. Now we're going to fire them? Longer response times for 9/11, that would be a result. Rising crime, that would be a result. Waiting healthcare shortages, that would be a reality. Now ask yourself if that really is making America a better or safer place. Of course not. Instead of vilifying half of America and making the labor shortage worse, the Biden administration maybe should be focused on educating the country. If you have a breakthrough case, what do you ask your doctor? Ask about monoclonal antibodies, for example. That's one. According to the New England Journal of Medicine and the UNC School of Medicine, monoclonal antibodies are effective in disrupting the progression of COVID-19 and reduce death. Joey only mentioned them one time. Maybe you should talk about it more. Then he rationed it because Governor DeSantis set up these monoclonal antibody centers all throughout the state of Florida once the Delta variant started showing all these breakthrough cases. The Biden administration almost never mentions this treatment. How about an option? If people are that against the vaccination, why not test them every day? And employees accommodate them and respect the fact that they might have a different point of view. They would rather demonize Americans over this. For Democrats, everything's political. One size fits all of us will pay a price, and this will impact our economy. Look at this Fox News poll. Nearly 60% of Americans disapprove of Joe Biden's handling of the economy already. They disapprove of his policies on immigration and border security and foreign policy and taxes. Here now with the latest is House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy. I would hate that nurses on the front lines in COVID, military men and women that put their lives on the line every day, I don't know what their reasons are, but it seems like they made up their mind and they're not going to change. Now, instead of firing them, where's the option so they can save their jobs, save their pensions, and still work in a safe environment?
Sean, 1 year ago, they were the heroes of America. And today they want to give them pink slips. Why don't we allow them to test? I was just at a conference this weekend where I had a home kit. I FaceTimed in with the doctor where they're looking at the test. In 15 minutes, even though I'm already vaccinated, could tell I was safe. And a number of these people had COVID. So why don't we help these people that were heroes a year ago? And why don't we help America get through a very tough time? You talked about it. It seems like it's 1979 again. Americans are held hostage in the Middle East. OPEC were begging to produce more oil. We had Billy Carter, now we have Hunter Biden. We have inflation. We have a president that is not giving the leadership about moving forward. And we now have a White House that tells us to lower our expectations. What we really need is that fundamental man like Ronald Reagan that said, no pastels, fly the bold colors and go to that shiny city on the hill. Because there's nothing in America that we cannot solve. We have the ingenuity, we proved it with the 3 vaccines, and we can continue to lead instead of these burdensome policies that are putting us in this mess. We don't have to be where we are today. We can have Christmas. We can stop inflation. We can stay at work. But Biden, a disastrous position is taking us there. And the bill that's going forward is not just the spending, it's the substance. And they continue to lie to us, Sean. When they said they fixed it and took it from $600 about people being spied on to $10,000, let me put that in perspective. If you make $28 a day or you spend $28 a day, you are still the target, which is the majority of America. He wants to hire 85,000 IRS agents. That's a larger population than Stratton, Pennsylvania, of his hometown.
You know, we can follow Ron DeSantis's model with monoclonal antibodies. That seemed to work very well in Florida. We can solve that problem. We can get control of the border, just go back to the Trump policies that worked. The same with energy. We could become energy independent again. Instead of asking OPEC and Russia, we can ask Texas and Oklahoma, North Dakota, and Alaska. That would help the economy dramatically, that one move. And while it won't be easy, I would be in favor of going back and rescuing our fellow Americans that he abandoned 6 days ago in Afghanistan.
Sean, I'm working today to bring Americans home. I know of Americans that are sitting on the line right now to try to get across. And time and again, you know what my biggest obstacle is? The State Department, the U.S. State Department. And it's not just Americans we're trying to get through. We have people from the UK, people from France. Those allies who were there, not because they were attacked 20 years ago, but because America was attacked. And that's what this president did, left us behind. And remember, if we allow America, which we can be energy independent, we're also helping the environment. Because American natural gas is 42% cleaner than Russia. But he allows a Russian pipeline to go forward.
We don't need any energy from anybody.
We don't.
It's nuts. All right.
Why don't we want to control our own destiny?
Great
We're better
question.
than
To create
this.
jobs in America. Instead of making Putin in the Middle East rich, let's make America rich again. All right. Thank you, Kevin McCarthy. Joining us now with more, Louisiana Senator John Kennedy. Senator, I'll let you jump right into this discussion. All of these problems that we're discussing here are preventable, and they're all about to get worse, because if we fire the healthcare workers and the cops and the firemen and the other medical workers and our military, I hate to think what that impact will be on the economy.
Sean, this is certainly about more than treadmills. If you have a pulse and a marginal desire for a better life, you know that President Biden is in trouble, and therefore America's in trouble. Measured any way you want. The debacle in Afghanistan, which has emboldened Russia and China and Iran, the unbridled inflation, gas prices, open borders, crime, a Justice Department that thinks parents are dangerous domestic terrorists, a Treasury Department that wants access to the checking account of every American who has a job. No wonder the American people are so angry. There's no wonder that so many Americans think that this administration doesn't care about them or their lives or their future. Now, I say this with respect, with all the respect I can muster. But my advice to the president is this. Mr. President, you've just got to try harder not to suck. And the best way to do that, in my opinion, is stop worrying so much about the wokers. You're never going to make them happy. They hyperventilate on their yoga mats at the slightest provocation. You're never going to make them happy. Stop worrying about the wokers and start worrying about America's workers. And I'm talking about the people who get up every day and go to work and obey the law and pay their taxes and try to do the right thing by their kids. They made America great. Ordinary people doing extraordinary things. And we're not going to get this country back on track. And the president's not going to be more popular with the American people until he stops worrying about wokers and starts worrying about workers. And that's, to me, is what it's all about.
You know something? I don't think he's capable of it, Senator. I'm not even sure if he knows what day of the week it is. And I don't say that flippantly. I say it with sadness, and I think he agrees with the workers. We have a minute left.
Well, then what the president's going to have to do, I don't know if that's accurate or not. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying it's right. The president then is going to have to replace some of the people around him who seem to be obsessed with trying to make the left of Lenin neo-socialist Bolsheviks happy.
But wait a
I
minute,
mean, just
Senator, he signed the Bernie Biden manifesto, didn't he?
Oh, I'm not excusing the president. He's ultimately responsible. But Senator Sanders, Senator Bernie Sanders, he tested negative for president. I mean, the American people didn't elect him. They elected Joe Biden. And Joe Biden basically said, look, I will govern from the middle. I'll be the second coming of Barack Obama, maybe a little left of middle. Instead, he's been the second cousin of Bernie Sanders. And his entire administration is owned lock, stock, and barrel by the wokers. And they're not America.
Senator Kennedy, always great to have you, sir. Thank you. When we come back straight ahead, polls in Virginia dead even. Wow, the blue state of Virginia, can it go red? 2 weeks from this past Tuesday? We'll find out. We'll be joined by Republican candidate Glenn Youngkin. That's coming up next. Youngkin is coming up next. And when we return, we'll also check in. We have a big update in the search for Brian Laundrie and Don Jr. straight ahead as we continue.
Every time the chute opens, my life gets very simple. The bull's job is to buck me off, and it's my job to hang on, no matter what. They say it's the most dangerous 8 seconds in sports, but one thing is certain. Chances are I'm gonna be hurting tomorrow. I know you were never gonna get on a bull, but how about taking those nice long walks again? Or gardening? I was skeptical that anything that's 100% drug-free could be tough enough for my pain. But then I tried Relief Factor, and now I depend on it every day to help me get out and stay out of pain. If you work hard for a living like I do, or if everyday aches and pains slow you down, do what I did and order the 3-week Quick Start. You can get started for just $19.95. Order today at ReliefFactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF. You'll be glad you did.
So, Paul, we're talking about gutters. What was life like before Leaf Filter?
Well, for starters, I hated cleaning those nasty gutters.
Clogged gutters caused so much damage to my home. The roof leaked, the basement flooded. I mean, me and that ladder did not get along.
To be honest, dangerous. I would cringe every time we had to climb the ladder to clean the gutters.
What do you like most about Leaf Filter? Everything.
Free inspection, the installation, the lifetime transferable warranty, and hey, I don't have to get back on that ladder again.
Leaf Filter just works flawlessly at filtering out leaves and debris.
So how has life changed since Leaf Filter?
It's less complicated. My gutters are clog-free, and that keeps me stress-free.
Thanks to Leaf Filter, we were able to put the ladder away, and it makes us feel
good. So I take it you'd recommend Leaf Filter?
Absolutely. All my neighbors already know. Leaf Filter is a no-brainer.
Call 833-LEAF-FILTER or go to getleaffilter.com for your free gutter inspection and estimate. Call or log on today and save 15%.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and as you know, my passion is to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. That's why I created my new Giza Dreams bed sheets. I started by using the world's best cotton called Giza. It's only grown in a region between the Sahara Desert, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Nile River. It's ultra soft and breathable, but extremely durable. I guarantee you they'll be the most comfortable sheets you'll ever own.
I do not like my sheets. I love my Giza Dream sheets.
Call or go to MyPillow.com right now to take advantage of Mike's limited time offer. Use the promo code on the screen, and when you buy one set of Giza Dream sheets, Mike will send you another set absolutely free. That's right, buy one set of Giza Dream sheets and get another set absolutely free. Choose from a variety of colors in solid, stripes, and new flannel sheets. Order now.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com. Wes Faulkner puts America's news in focus.
We begin here demanding answers.
Don't miss the Faulkner Focus, weekdays at 11 on Fox News Channel.
Building relationships is an important part of successfully representing buyers and sellers. For over 27 years, Laura Drammer has built her real estate successes with relationships in Santa Barbara and the Santa Ynez Valley. Laura ranks in the top 25 agents worldwide for Berkshire Hathaway. In 2020, Laura sold over $100 million. For a smooth and successful sale, please call Laura Drammer and her network of professional associates.
We have breaking developments tonight in the search for Brian Laundrie, as authorities now have uncovered his belongings and found partial human remains in a Florida reserve. Here with the very latest, our own Laura Engel. Laura, big news tonight.
Yeah, good evening. And there is no word on the confirmation of who these possible human remains belong to or when we might find that out, Sean. But the FBI was able to give us a significant update today, and we'll go through it for you now. They announced that investigators have found what they believe to be human remains in the Carlton Reserve. That is where they have been searching for weeks for Brian Laundrie, and for the first time, they called him a person of interest in the murder of Gabby Petito. We haven't heard that language from the FBI before. Petito's calls and text messages to her family stopped in late August while she was on a cross-country road trip with Laundrie in her van. Her body was discovered September 19th in Wyoming. The coroner ruling her death a homicide by strangulation. Fox News Digital catching Chris and Roberta Laundrie near the reserve earlier today, talking with a search team member where they were told something had been found. And soon after, cadaver dogs and coroner's vans arrived to the 25,000-acre nature preserve where the Laundries had told police their son had gone for a hike September 13th. No comment tonight from the Gabby Petito family. They told me 2 weeks ago that they were hoping that Brian Laundrie would be found alive, saying that he is the key to the answers of what happened in Wyoming. So if these remains do turn out to be Brian Laundrie, this is not the outcome that Gabby's family had hoped for. Sean.
All right, Laura, thank you very much for that report. We'll continue to monitor this story throughout the night. Also, big breaking news out of Virginia. A Monmouth poll now showing the gubernatorial race between Glenn Youngkin and Terry McAuliffe is now dead even, 46-46. Terry, he's feeling the pressure, storming out of an interview with a local reporter 10 minutes earlier, saying you need to ask better questions. Take a look.
Healthcare, COVID, education, job creation. All right, we're over. That's it.
Thank you.
Hey, I gave you extra time. Come on, man. You should have asked better questions. You really have. I mean, you should have asked questions your viewers care about.
Well, we did. You should have asked better questions. Oh, okay. Now Democrats, they're pulling out all those stops. They're trying to save McAuliffe, including bringing in Kamala Harris. Not sure how much good that does, who is under fire herself for a video urging churchgoers to get out and vote, which it appears may have actually violated IRS rules. Of course, if you're a Democrat, you get a pass. If you're a Republican, you get 10 years in jail. And as Glenn Youngkin put it, Terry McAuliffe is clearly losing it, totally unraveling. And don't forget, McAuliffe has made it very clear he does not want parents involved in their kids' education and wants to set the stage for more far-left indoctrination. Don't take my word for it. Listen to Terry himself.
I don't think parents should be telling schools what they should teach. You know, I get really tired of everybody running down teachers.
Dead even race, and it's all coming down to turnout and who gets their voters to the polls November the 2nd. Can deep blue Virginia, a deep blue state, really turn red? Here to make that case, he's now tied tonight. Republican Virginia gubernatorial candidate Glenn Youngkin is with us. Obviously, this is a real race now. Obviously, he's nervous. You have distinguished yourself. You believe teachers, actually, parents should have input in their kids' school. I would tend to agree with you. You said you'd eliminate CRT on day one. What are the major differences in your campaign?
Well, Sean, thank you for having me tonight. And the reason why Terry McAuliffe doesn't want to talk to that reporter anymore is because the reporter was asking him questions about schools and crime. And Terry doesn't think that voters want to hear about schools and crime. Well, last night we had an event in Fairfax County. We had 1,000 people show up. 1,000 people know the difference between what I'm going to do for Virginians is get our schools reestablished with standards of excellence where parents have a fundamental right to be engaged in their children's education. Terry McAuliffe wants government between parents and their children. I'm going to cut taxes, and Terry McAuliffe wants to raise taxes. I'm standing strong for law enforcement. Terry McAuliffe is running around with politicians who want to defund police and close prisons. And oh, by the way, I'm going to get our job machine cranked back up. And when Terry McAuliffe was governor, 40% of his economic projects failed to create a single job. On the ballot right now in November is the future of Virginia. And Sean, it's the future of America because Virginia gets to stand up and vote over the course of the next 13 days and make a statement for a state that, a state that's been blue, that's getting ready to elect a Republican governor and charge forward with a new day in Virginia.
The county of Loudoun County has become a central point in this campaign. Serious allegation of a rape in a bathroom of a young woman, confirmed investigation. Again, nothing's proven yet, but a confirmed investigation by law enforcement. But then the student was apparently transferred to another school. Now there's another allegation of another assault. And my question is, pending the results of that investigation, why was that student still allowed in any school? And how did the board of the superintendent say that he knew nothing about it when the police knew all about it?
Yeah, this is something that I called for last night, an investigation of the Loudoun County School Board. The FBI should leave Virginia's parents alone and focus on what's happening in Loudoun County schools. I mean, we absolutely had a perpetrator, an offender who was being investigated and prosecuted for sexual assault, and they tried to hide him in another school, and he did it again. I mean, the school board, and oh, by the way, the school administrators are guilty of gross negligence, and they should be held accountable. People should be fired, people should lose their jobs or resign, and that's why I called for a full investigation. And oh, by the way, if Virginia's current Attorney General, Mark Herring, who's out campaigning a divisive campaign, isn't willing to do it, just wait until January 15th when we show up, and Jason Miyares, who will be our next Attorney General, and I and Winsome Sears, we're going to have a full investigation. We're going to find out what happened. Virginia parents deserve this. Our schools aren't safe. Our schools are teaching our kids what to think as opposed to how to think. We're going to go to work on day one and reestablish excellence in schools, but on top of that, safety.
We appreciate you being with us, Glenn Youngkin. If you win this race, it will be a political earthquake that will be heard all around the country, and you're dead even. We wish you luck. We're going to follow this very closely. Thanks for being with us. All right, coming up, Donald Trump Jr. joins us with reaction to Biden's plummeting poll numbers. Oh, and President Trump, we just found out, a big announcement we will share with you. And we've also obtained exclusive video of illegal immigrants arriving in New York in the middle of the night, or as Jen Psaki likes to tell it, an early morning flight at 2 a.m. or 4 a.m. Miranda Devine will react, and she has now breaking news about Hunter Biden you don't want to miss. That's all straight ahead. Busy news night on Hannity.
When you're driving a Lincoln, stress seems to evaporate into thin air, which leaves us to wonder, where does it go? Does it get tangled up in knots? Or fall victim to gravity? Or maybe it winds up somewhere of the Bermuda Triangle. Perhaps you'll come up with your own theory of where the stress goes. Behind the wheel of a Lincoln is a mighty fine place to start.
Every once in a while, my heart can feel a little off, and even when it doesn't, I like to feel good about my heart health. That's why I have KardioMobile. KardioMobile is the only smart device in the world that is FDA cleared to detect the 3 most common heart conditions in just 30 seconds.
And having one in your pocket not only gives you peace of mind,
The doctor will thank you now.
Cardia Mobile is proven to detect atrial fibrillation, one of the leading causes of stroke. It also detects bradycardia, tachycardia, and tells you when your heart rhythm is normal. And it's available now for only $79.
You can use Cardia Mobile anywhere. It lets you put your health in your own hands. I didn't think anyone could be happier about that kind of independence than me, but my doctor is over the moon. Thank you.
Feel good about your heart health with Cardia Mobile. Order yours today for just $79 at cardiamobile.com or Amazon. That's just $79 for a limited time.
I'm Dr. Brendan White. I've been an optometrist for 29 years now. I started taking Balance of Nature's fruits and vegetables 20-something years ago, and I've been taking it ever since. My practice is called Envision Eye Health. We're all about preventative eye care. One of the things established from eye research is fruits and vegetables are good for our eye health. So I've always liked Balance of Nature from that sense. And the concept is clear from the title. This is the way our nutrition was meant to be acquired, through fruits and vegetables. So my favorite question I get when I'm working in my clinic is, Doctor, well, what do you do? And I tell them I take Balance of Nature. It's a great product, and I can't think of another product that has a more broad-reaching scale of things that it can improve in our health.
Start your journey to better health. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com, and don't forget to get 35% off your first preferred order by using discount code Fox News.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell. Cancel culture has not only affected myself and MyPillow, but millions of you out there. Before this all started, I had already written in my memoir, I dedicate this book to anyone who's looking for hope. Well, right now, we're all looking for hope. And I believe that my story is going to bring inspiration and hope to everyone. By the time you're done reading my book, you will believe that with God, all things are possible. And to thank all of you for your support, I'm offering some of the best prices ever on MyPillow products, including this exclusive bundle. You get my book and these 3 MyPillows. You get the Statue of Liberty, you get the American flag, and you get with God, all things are possible. Regularly just $134, now it's just $49.98 with your promo code and free shipping. So go to mypillow.com/USA and use the promo code on your screen or call the 1-800 number below to receive this exclusive offer. Thank you and God bless.
Kidney alert for type 2 diabetes.
40% of people with type 2 diabetes will develop chronic kidney disease, or CKD. Did you know CKD can lead to kidney failure and dialysis?
Kidney alert!
CKD often has no symptoms until it's too late.
Help protect your kidneys. Call your doctor for a UACR test. It shows one of the earliest signs for CKD. Visit kidneyalert.com.
When you can't watch, listen. Get the latest news, business, and news headlines on SiriusXM. Anytime, anywhere. Fox News Audio on SiriusXM. America is listening.
Now, amid Biden's mounting failures, cratering approval now down as low as 37%, not many Republicans even in that poll, his abandonment of Americans in Afghanistan, the border, the energy policy disaster, the economy in a free fall, more dead people from COVID this year than last year in America. It's so sad and all preventable. Just take a look, by the way, at this new poll, Quinnipiac, showing Donald Trump a higher favorability than Biden. Biden's overall approval in Quinnipiac is a dismal 37%. And according to new findings from the well-respected Seltzer polling group, there's been a massive shift among independents. In 2020 exit polling, Biden won independent voters by a 54-41% margin. If the election were held today, our poll shows that former President Trump would win that group 45-28. And meanwhile, Donald Trump continues to stand strong amid the Democrats' phony January 6th inquiry, where it's already a predetermined outcome. You know, they kicked off Jim Jordan and Jim Banks. Why? Because they might ask real questions. And we know where Liz Cheney stands on all things Trump. And by the way, that is more about fueling lies about the former president, even suggesting that he was responsible for organizing that madness. No, that's not true. There's never been any evidence that points in that direction. Donald Trump is now suing to stop the release of records related to this they already have their conclusion, foregone conclusion, January 6th committee There is a battle over executive privilege now pending. Joining us now, Donald Trump Jr. I want to stop with this big news. I'm looking at justthenews.com. Our friend John Solomon, editor-in-chief. Trump announces formation of own media company social platform to counter censorship, to give a voice to all. And what can you tell us about it?
Well, Sean, it's a big deal. You know, for so long, big tech has suppressed conservative voices. If you're pro-Second Amendment, if you're pro-life, if you're religious, if you're just a conservative, you have been in Facebook jail, you have been deplatformed, you have been demonetized. What we're trying to do is create a big tent, an open and free network for people to be able to communicate, to exercise your First Amendment rights. And so tonight, my father signed a definitive merger agreement to form what will ultimately be the Trump Media and Technology Group and Truth Social, a platform for everyone to express their feelings. Big tech and all of those on the left for so long, Sean, have been saying, well, if you don't like the rules that we really enforce only one way on our platforms, go create your own. And so we did just that. So that's going to launch very soon. We're going to be in beta testing in the next few weeks. Full launch first quarter of 22. It's going to be exciting, and we're looking to give a voice back to the American people. You saw what they did to the President of the United States. We want to make sure that Americans have a voice. No political discrimination. We're going to cancel culture. We're going to stand up and push back against the tyranny of big tech. I think America has been waiting for this. We've been working on it for a while. We've kept it under wraps, but now we are in process to get that going, to return our voice back to those who need it and who want it. Conservatives everywhere, and frankly, people everywhere, because we want a discourse amongst everyone. Not a one-sided platform where if someone on the left disagrees with you, they just cancel you and wipe you out. So go to truthsocial.com, sign up. We'll get you involved on the beta testing when that launches in a few weeks. And then we're going to launch fully in 22. It's going to be awesome.
I'm looking forward to it, and you know what? It's amazing because they, you know, the most extreme ayatollahs or mullahs, they have a platform on Twitter. Your father's canceled. Let me add everything that we were talking about earlier with Kevin McCarthy and with Senator Kennedy. Afghanistan, preventable. The border, preventable. Energy independence, we had it. Joe gave it up. He's now begging OPEC. The economy, the supply chain disaster. More people dead in this country from COVID this year than last year. I don't see any more of those COVID counts on fake news, CNN or MSDNC. Don Jr.
No, 100%, because our news has been so biased for so long. Our social media platforms have been so biased for so long. As long as they're able to further their narrative, they will talk about it. The second the truth gets in the way of their narrative, all of a sudden it magically disappears. It's blacklisted. You won't see it anywhere. And that was a big part of why we wanted to create Truth Social. We want to make sure that these things get out there. You see it with big tech. You see it in the search engines. You look up a major topic and all you see is the CNN, MSNBC, yada, 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 the leftist narrative all the way down. You can never get to the other side of the story. And so we want to make sure that the other side of the story is finally heard.
Let me ask you
You've listed, Sean, all of the disasters of this administration, and there's so many more. There's not a single success that anyone could point to, unless you're perhaps in China, in which case they're loving Joe Biden because he's doing a phenomenal job for the Chinese and their ambitions to take over the world.
Yeah, if you live in Russia, you're probably pretty happy too, because Joe's policies are making Putin and Russia rich again. Interesting. Hunter made money from Russia and China and Kazakhstan and Ukraine, of course. And if the last name were Trump, I think it'd be a different story. All right, so the launch is in first quarter 2022. People can go to what website to sign up?
Yeah, go to truthsocial.com. You can sign up there, and in a couple of weeks, you're going to actually be part of the beta testing of the site, and then you're going to have the full launch in early 2022, and we're finally going to push back against the tyranny of big tech.
All right, looking forward to it. That is a big announcement. Don Jr., thanks so much. When we come back, we have obtained exclusive video of illegal immigrants in the, if you're Jen Psaki, in the early morning at 2 and 4 a.m. at airports in New York, being dropped off No notice to anybody. We've got the tape. And Miranda Devine has an exclusive as it relates to zero experience Hunter Biden. We'll share that next.
I recommend Nature Made vitamins because I trust their quality. They were the first to be verified by USP, an independent organization that sets strict quality and purity standards. Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist recommended vitamin and supplement brand.
Investors, you need to protect against market drops and inflation. The best diversification is hard assets with lower risk and higher returns, including steady cash flow. The NRAA Fund of Prime Class A properties pays a 10% monthly distribution plus targeted total returns to 21%. It contains high-demand real estate in supply-constrained markets away from urban crowding. The Federal Reserve is boosting realty values with low interest rates. Where we build, it's booming. Our fund is strategically positioned for growth with over $1 billion of new development value in progress. Call and receive our free investors report, Don't Fight the Fed, Flow with the Fed. Call 800-800-1414. That's 800-800-1414. Call now while the Fed is boosting realty markets with low rates and receive our free investors report, Don't Fight the Fed, Flow with the Fed. Call 800-800-1414. That's 800-800-1414. Or go to nraa.net.
Men over 45 and a large prostate have you up to urinate 2 or more times a night. Who wants that? The UroLift system is a minimally invasive procedure that reopens the channel with no cutting, helping men make fewer nighttime bathroom trips.
Most side effects are mild to moderate. Serious bleeding and infection events are rare. Visit urolift.com.
Ask your urologist about UroLift or call 800-656-6600 today.
I gained the weight because anxiety, everything revolves around food, and craving it. Release definitely helped me stop my cravings. I got control of my weight, my health, and my life.
Release from Golo. To lose weight,